everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back to talk about all of the fragrances that I wore last week. I'm gonna jump right in because this is one of those weeks where when I was getting them all together, I was like, holy cow, how did I manage to wear so many fragrances? But somehow I did. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna jump right in. The first one that I tested is this one here. This was sent over by my beautiful friend. This is a fragrance called Femme de Varens Sensuelle, or just Ulric de Varens Sensuelle, I think is how it's listed in Fragrantica. This is kind of a smell-alike for Lolita Lempicka, just the original Lolita Lempicka, but this is smoother and it's got a load of vanilla in it. So it probably smells almost identical to one of the flankers. I used to have one of the flankers. It was like I can't remember, it was some kind of a perfume version of it. And this smells kind of like that, but this is even smoother and even more vanilla heavy than that one. So it's really beautiful. I think I got a good 5 to 6 hours out of this. It lasted a really long time. It lasted a very long time on my clothing too. And yeah, it's just super nice. It's like Lolita Lempicka, but smoother and with a ton more vanilla. And I really enjoyed it. So anyways, that is Ulric de Varens Sensuelle. Really, really beautiful. Okay, this next one is one that I pulled out. I bought this probably maybe 6 months ago or something, kind of in the middle of the summer or in the middle of really hot weather. And it was one of those that I had a feeling just needed to sit for a while, because when I first got it and sprayed it, it was okay. But I didn't feel like it was anything special. But man, I was so right about this one needing to sit. This is a fragrance from Camille Beckman, and this is called French Vanilla. And this is such a beautiful vanilla scent. This reminds me a lot of Tehoda. Now that it has sat and it's really like macerated. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It's not overly sweet, but it is a really beautiful, sweet, slightly creamy vanilla fragrance. This one also has brown sugar in it, and that was part of the thing. I didn't smell any of the brown sugar when I first got this and I sprayed it on myself for the first time. I didn't really get much of anything, just maybe kind of a light, kind of chemically smelling vanilla. But now it's so much richer and it has so much more body, and I could actually smell the brown sugar note on my skin. It was so beautiful, and I just kept getting like Tehoda vibes from it, and I just feel like it's such a good alternative and really inexpensive too. I forget, I'll link this of course for you, but I want to say it's like in the $20 to $25 range, something like that. So anyways, that is Camille Beckman French Vanilla. The only problem, this doesn't last for a super long time. You'll probably get, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours out of it before you would need to reapply, but I think it's so beautiful and I love the way it smells, and it's so affordable that I'm totally fine with it not lasting a super long time. So anyways, that is Camille Beckman French Vanilla. So I kind of got on a musk kick last week, and I've just been on a musk kick recently. I'm into all kinds of musks too, like expensive, cheap, perfume, oil, like it doesn't really matter. I'm just into musks. And so I pulled out my Jovan Musk. It's such a blast from the past. It's such a nostalgic scent for me. It takes me straight back to the 80s. It really is like the 80s in a bottle for me. I feel like if you like clean, kind of soapy skin musks, that you would really like this. I will say it does smell slightly dated, but when I get it on my skin and I start moving around and like catching whiffs of it, I don't feel like it smells dated at all. And that could just be because it works really well with my skin chemistry, but I don't know, I just love it. It's one of those fragrances that, like, a lot of people really love this fragrance. In fact, if you get on, I've come across several forums of like people writing about fragrances that smell way more expensive than they are, or like hidden gem forums, which are like my favorite types of things to come across, are hidden gem forums where people are talking about all of their hidden gems. You'll see this come up on those hidden gem forums a lot, because it really is beautiful. But anyways, that is Jovan Musk. This kind of lives out because I wear it really often. Okay, next this is one from my last fall video that I posted. This is Madonna Truth or Dare Naked. I pulled it out and then I couldn't put it away without wearing it. I love this. I need to test it one more time because I wore it over some lotion and it was not a super enjoyable experience. So I think it was a layering fail, but I don't know. I feel like this perfume just might not smell good on me anymore. This used to be one of those fragrances that smelled so good on me, and in fact, it was one of those fragrances that I would get a lot of compliments on because it smelled really good on me. And like I say, it could just be that it was a layering fail, but I need to give this one a good test again because I'm afraid it doesn't smell good on me anymore. I don't know. But I layered this Madonna Truth or Dare Naked over this Bath & Body Works lotion. This is Bath & Body Works White Pumpkin and Chai. And this smells so good too. This is cinnamon cider, spiced pumpkin, and vanilla glaze. This combination was not good though. It was not good at all. There's something about, and it's coming from the perfume. It's not the lotion. There's something coming from the perfume that, I don't know, my nose is not enjoying. It's almost, I don't know, it's this weird underlying, almost plasticky kind of smell that I'm getting that I never used to before. So I don't know. I'm gonna just like put this one down for a couple of months. Let it get colder. It could be that it was just still too warm for this. I have a feeling that that might have been the case because that day I was expecting it to be cooler than it was. I ended up having to change into shorts because it got so hot outside. So I'm thinking it might just be that it's just not cool enough for this yet. So I'm gonna put this away for a couple more months, let it get really, really cold out, and then I'll revisit it. I'm hoping that weird underlying plasticky-ness that I'm getting from it goes away. But I do love this lotion. This is, again, the White Pumpkin and Chai lotion from Bath & Body Works. It's so yummy. Oh, it's so good. It smells like pumpkin apple cider. It's so good. And sweet vanilla cake frosting. I love it. It's my favorite kind of lotion. So anyways, that is that one. Next is another Musk. This is another one that just lives out. I usually keep this one and Jovan Musk sitting right next to each other, and then just whenever I'm in the mood, I will, or whichever one I'm in the mood for, I'll just spray it on. This is Alyssa Ashley White Musk, and this is another one that's basically 80s in a bottle. It's a white musk, so it's got that touch of sweetness to it. It's cleaner smelling than Jovan Musk. It's not, Jovan Musk is really warm smelling. It's got more of like a skin-like quality to it, whereas this one doesn't. This one is much more of like a clean, kind of slightly sweet. It still does have a little bit of a skin-like quality to it, but it's really bright and clean and sweet smelling. And I love it. I love spraying either one of them. I love spraying them on when I get out of the shower. It's just like the ultimate, I smell clean and nice and so non-offensive to anybody. These are perfumes that I really like to wear when I first get out of the shower and then I'm gonna go run errands or something. These are the types of fragrances that I like to throw on because I know I'm just gonna smell good and clean, but not offensive in any way to anybody. So anyways, that is Alyssa Ashley White Musk. Next, I wore this baby. I already talked about this one. This is a decant that I picked up of a fragrance from Liquid Imaginaire, and it is called Blanche Bete. This one was recommended by Claire, who is Smurfy Girly here on YouTube. Oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful. In fact, she just picked up a full bottle of this, and I can only imagine how much in heaven she is with this perfume. It is so stunning. If you like almondy, powdery, sweet, heliotrope, if you like those kinds of fragrances, and maybe not heliotrope, you definitely get an almond, kind of powdery almondness from heliotrope, but heliotrope has a really beautiful green side to it as well, and there's nothing green about this. This is very decadent and sweet, and it's one of those fragrances that reminds me of Marie Antoinette. I think of like powdered wigs and treats and decadence, and That's what I think of when I smell this. It's so beautiful. It does have a really gorgeous kind of delicate, light, musky side to it as well. Oh my gosh, but it's just all about that sweet, fluffy, powdery almond. And it's pretty darn sweet. This thing is an absolute beast. It's more than a beast. This thing is nuclear. This is one of those fragrances that you only have to, I think I put on 4 sprays and I smelled like this for, I mean, almost 24 hours probably, until I took a shower the next day. So yeah, it's amazing. And thank you again so much to Claire for recommending this. It is stunning. I will need to start saving up for a full bottle of it because it's definitely full bottle worthy. It's right up my alley. So anyways, that is Blanche Bete from, I hope I'm saying that correctly, from Liquid Imaginaire. Okay, next I wore this one here. This is one of my decants that I picked up from the Fragrance Decant Boutique. This is Les Senteurs Gourmande Vanille Framboise EDP. This is beautiful. This is probably the least gourmand fragrance from this line that I've ever smelled. It's very much like a perfumey raspberry fragrance. It smells like wine to me. It smells like a beautiful, sweet, like wine spritzer or something. It smells a little boozy from the alcohol. It's just beautiful. It really does remind me kind of wine. This lasted all of 15 minutes on me though. I mean, yeah, it was like 15 minutes and then gone, and I sprayed the entire decant in just one go because I knew it wasn't gonna hang around for very long. So yeah, really, really nice. Would I ever buy a full bottle? Absolutely not. I loved it. I enjoyed it for the 15 minutes I could smell it, but yeah, I would definitely not buy a full bottle of it. So that is Les Senteurs Gourmande Vanille Framboise EDP. Okay, next I wore this one here. There's kind of a funny story behind this. So this is Tonkalicious from Dua, and this one has deepened up so much. It's macerated just beautifully, and oh my gosh, it's so good. This one is definitely unisex. In fact, it might lean just a touch masculine. It's so good. If you love Tonka, I think you would love this. This is a clone of Guerlain Tonka Imperial, and it's beautiful. So I pulled this out. Actually, I've been talking about, I just put a big order in at Dua because they came out with 10 mil pen sprays, which I was so excited to see because there are so many Dua fragrances that I want to try, but they're expensive and I don't want to have to buy a full bottle of every single one. So I was so excited to see that they came out with the 10 mil pen sprays. So I got a little crazy. I ordered 9 of them because they were having an amazing 30% off sale, and so I ordered 9. Well, at the last second, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I have Tonkalicious or if I've ever smelled that. So I popped it in my cart and bought it. I don't know why. I own a full bottle of Tonkalicious. I always have. It's just one of those that I have been letting it sit. I put it away and have been letting it sit to macerate, and I just completely forgot I had it. But anyways, I went to look for it and I was like, oh my gosh, I do have it. But when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I have got to wear you. You're so beautiful. It's gotten so beautiful as it has sat. So I pulled this out and wore it. This one performs really, really well. It smells so beautiful on the skin. It's got this kind of roasty, slightly powdery, kind of slightly sweet. It's almost got a skin-like quality to it as well. It's stunning. But anyways, yeah, this one, it performs really well, but not as well as some of the other Duas. This probably way outperforms what it's cloning, I would guess. I've never tried Guerlain Tonka Imperial, but I just have a feeling this performs probably better. I was able to get a good 6 or 7 hours out of this, so it is by no means does it perform badly. I'm just used to Duas being absolutely nuclear, and this one isn't nuclear. So that's not to say that it doesn't perform well, it's just not nuclear like a lot of other Duas are. So anyways, that is Dua Tonkalicious, a beauty. Okay, I'm gonna save, I've got a couple samples that I tested. I'm gonna save those for the end. Next, I pulled out this stunner of a fragrance. This is from Zara, and this is it's just called Vanilla. I've got the cardamom one as well. I picked these up some years ago. It's pretty long been discontinued. This is such a gorgeous vanilla. This one is really unisex as well. It reminds me a little bit of my Divine Vanille from, why can't I think of the name of that essential? I can't remember what the name of the house is, something Essentials. But it reminds me a little bit of that, but it's not as woody. It's a little bit sweet. This one is really, really unisex smelling. It doesn't lean really masculine or feminine. It's just such a beautiful vanilla. It's really cozy and comforting, but without smelling, and it's a perfumey vanilla. It doesn't smell like, it's not a gourmand vanilla. It doesn't smell like something to eat. It's really nice. I wish that Zara would have kept these around and not discontinued. I feel like Zara always discontinues the best scents and then keeps the most mediocre ones, which is really disappointing because this one was just amazing, and so is the cardamom one that goes along with this. In fact, I love to layer the two. They smell amazing layered. So anyways, that is vanilla from Zara. Okay, next I wore a couple of the other ones that my beautiful friend sent me. She sent me this one here. This is a clone. I have no idea. I think she got it from Amazon. I have no idea where it came from, honestly. It doesn't have any kind of like a name on it. I think the box did, but I threw the box away. Yeah, but I'm sure if you look up like Hypnotic Poison dupe or Hypnotic Poison clone or something on Amazon, that this will come up. The bottle reminds me of Snow White's Poisoned Apple. It's beautiful. I love this bottle. This is like a clone of Hypnotic Poison. It reminds me more of the original formulation of Hypnotic Poison rather than the newer formulation. It doesn't have as much caraway in it as the new formulation does, which I feel like it doesn't ruin, like I still like the new formulation. It still smells nice, but I don't know. It's just, Dior is the worst with taking their best fragrances and butchering them. Thank God they haven't butchered Addict. That would be like the worst thing in the world. But they did butcher Hypnotic Poison. And this, like I said, it's closer to the original formulation than the new one. This one is still powdery and almondy, and I just love it. This isn't like the best performer in the world, but I don't care. I'm happy to have it so that I can spray this on and have the same experience as I would with Hypnotic Poison without having to spray my original formulation, because at this point all I've got is the original formulation, and I'm so sparing with it. So I'm really, really happy to have a clone that I can wear instead. It just makes me so happy. So anyways, yeah, that is some kind of a clone of Hypnotic Poison that you can find on Amazon. Okay, next I wore this little guy. This is in my Project Pan. This is Jessica Simpson Fancy. It's just a tiny little half-ounce bottle. No, I'm sorry, it's a 1/4 ounce. It's not even a half ounce, it's a little 1/4 ounce. Cutest little bottle ever. It's funny because I'll go through Fancy. Fancy does not last on me at all. I can spray this on and get maybe 15 minutes out of it or so. So I usually will have some Fancy in my collection in some version of it, and then I'll run through it, and then I'll miss it, and then I'll find it on Fragrance Nut again, in some form, like I did with this one. And now I'm trying to run through it because I remember it just doesn't last at all on me. I don't get much joy out of it because I can only smell it for such a small amount of time. Oh, but I do love how it smells. It's like, it's kind of got this burnt sugar aspect to it that I really love. It's caramely and just, it's beautiful. Gosh, I love it so much. I do have the, oh, it's so good. I do have the body lotion as well, and I love the body lotion. The body lotion actually lasts way longer than the perfume. But yeah, that is one of my Project Pans, and I'm almost done with it. I think I've got maybe 2 more wears in this, and then it'll be finished. So anyways, that is Jessica Simpson Fancy. I love it. It just doesn't last long. Okay, and then the last full bottle that I wore is another one that my beautiful friend sent me. This is a Parfums Wheel Greedy Essence, and this is a gorgeous rose perfume, but it's really, really soft. I I can't remember if this one's got oud in it as well, but this is like, it smells like nothing else I've ever smelled. And it's like that on the skin as well. This is one that smells pretty close to what it smells like in the bottle on the skin. It's pretty linear. You don't get much of a journey with this one, but that's what I love about it because it smells amazing. It's like a really softened, slightly woody rose. There's something a little bit medicinal smelling about it, but in a good way. It's slightly sweet, and I just really, really like it. And this thing is an absolute beast. I can easily get 6-8 hours out of this. Closer to 8, I would say closer to 8. It just lasted forever on me. And yeah, I really love it. I think that this one's gonna be even nicer the colder it gets. It was still pretty warm when I wore it and it was perfectly fine, but I just have a feeling it's gonna be even nicer as it gets colder. So anyways, that is Parfums Wheel Greedy Essence. Okay, and then I tested a couple of the Bond No. 9 samples. And this first one I tested is called TriBeCa. I did a little short about this. I love doing shorts and talking a little bit about fragrances, but when I do a short about a fragrance, it's just my quick thoughts. It should never be taken as a full review. This is a beautiful fragrance. This is, TriBeCa has like cacao. When you first spray this, you get this beautiful powdery cacao note. And I will say immediately, this has got the Baccarat Rouge 540 scent profile for sure. It just does. But like I said, when you first spray this, you get this beautiful powdery cacao that actually sticks around for, I would say, a good like 5 minutes. And then it starts to dry down into the most beautiful, crisp, clear, sweet, realistic jasmine note. And that jasmine note hangs around for, I would say, a good 30 minutes or so. And it is so enjoyable when it is in that stage. If it stayed in that stage on my skin the entire wear time, like if I could smell that beautiful crystal clear sweet jasmine throughout the entire wear, I would absolutely buy a full bottle of this. But unfortunately that jasmine note kind of fades away after about 30 minutes, and then it dries down to the caramel and ambroxan, and you're left with that kind of Ariana Grande Baccarat Rouge 540 scent profile, which is nice. I'm just over it. I've been over it for a while. Does not mean that I don't think this is an absolutely stunning fragrance. Just because I'm over it doesn't mean that everybody's over it. Does not mean that I still can't appreciate this gorgeous perfume, and that I absolutely wouldn't recommend it 100%. I would. It's nuclear. I could smell this on me and I can probably still smell it on the sweater that I was wearing the day that I wore this. It is nuclear. This thing will last, I mean, it would last until you took another shower. It's a stunning fragrance. Beautiful. If you're into that Baccarat Rouge 540 scent profile, I could not recommend it even more. Would I want a full bottle of it? No. I've got 3 or 4 different perfumes that have this scent profile. I don't need any more in my collection. Like I said, if the stage of the jasmine stayed throughout the entire wear time, I would buy a bottle of this in a hot minute, but unfortunately it doesn't. But yeah, I got a comment on that short about, I thought you didn't like the Baccarat Rouge 540. I'm surprised you liked it, because I said I gave it a thumbs up. I'm surprised you liked it. I thought you were over the Baccarat Rouge 540 scent profile. Yeah, I am, but that doesn't mean that I still can't appreciate and think that fragrances with that scent profile are beautiful. Do I want a full bottle? No, but that doesn't mean that others shouldn't want a full bottle of it. There are plenty of people out there that love this scent profile. So anyways, that's a more in-depth review of TriBeCa. Okay, this one, oh my gosh. Okay, this one is Madison Square Park. And when I first sprayed this on like a paper blotter, it reminded me a lot of my Hermes, I think it's Un Jardin sur le Nil, I think is the one that has like the rose and the grass and the basil, and it's this beautiful kind of sweet rose, crisp green fragrance. And this does remind me a little bit of that, but when I sprayed this on my skin, I will say I loved the way this smelled for 95% of the wear time. But in the deepest of the deep dry down, so after I had been wearing it for probably 8 to 10 hours, because this thing is absolutely nuclear. After about 8 to 10 hours, this started to smell like bug spray. Like the deepest dry down part of this perfume started to smell like bug spray on me. So I was in heaven with this for probably 10 hours. And it wasn't until the very, very end of the wear time that it started to smell like bug spray on me. And it was like a total miss. So I love this. If you've got the chemistry that doesn't make it go bug spray after, you know, so many hours, I would recommend it, but I wouldn't buy a full bottle for me just because of how it smelled at the very, very end, which is crazy, but I'm glad that it happened, and that I know that it was sickening actually in the very deep dry down. It's such a weird, I don't know that I've ever experienced that with a perfume. Had a perfectly lovely wear throughout hours and hours and hours, and then in the last stages of it, have it turn yucky on me. It was very strange, but anyways, you guys, those are all of the fragrances that I wore it last week. I do hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.